Ever find yourself just, daydreaming about owning a place somewhere exotic? Maybe a spot like Phuket.
Phuket. Yeah, it definitely conjures up images of amazing beaches, doesn't it? A really relaxed way of life.
Exactly. But then reality kicks in. If you actually wanted to buy there, the huge question is, where in Phuket?
Right. And that's what we're digging into today. We're looking at insights from an article by Ocean Worldwide.
Ocean Worldwide. Tell us a bit about them.
Sure. They're a luxury real estate agency actually based right there in Phuket. Been operating since 2004, so quite a while.
Okay, establish them.
Very much so. Their director, Sandra O'Neill, has apparently helped thousands of people, families, investors over the years. They really focus on high-end residential stuff in Phuket and also Koh Samui.
So they've got that deep local expertise.
That's the idea. Real on-the-ground knowledge.
Fantastic. So our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. We're pulling out the key takeaways from this Ocean Worldwide piece about one specific, very talked about area. Patong?
Yep, Patong or Patong.
Is buying a condo in Patong a smart move for investment? Let's see what Ocean Worldwide thinks.
Well, the article kicks off by positioning Patong as Phuket's main entertainment hub. It's not exactly sleepy.
No, definitely not. So that means a pretty lively real estate market.
That's what they suggest. Very dynamic, fueled by all that energy. And well, as you'd probably guess, property prices there can vary quite a bit.
Okay, vary quite a bit. What drives that variation mainly, according to them?
The big things are, unsurprisingly, how close you are to the beach, the actual size of the condo, and the quality of the amenities.
Right, like pools and gyms.
Exactly, stuff like that. Ocean Worldwide says condos right near the beach or in those really premium developments with, amazing pools or state-of-the-art fitness centers, they're going to fetch the top prices.
Standard real estate logic, really. Prime spot, premium price. But they also mentioned the property's condition being important.
Oh, absolutely. A condo that's really well looked after, or maybe just had a nice high-quality renovation, that definitely adds value too. It's not just the view people care about. Quality matters.
Makes sense.
And what's interesting is their point about new developments. Sometimes they come in with, surprisingly competitive prices.
The appeal of the brand new. But I bet there's a catch, or at least something to watch out for.
Definitely. Due diligence is key. You absolutely have to check out the developer. What's their track record like? Did they deliver on previous projects? Is the build quality good? It's super important.
Non-negotiable, really.
Pretty much. But stepping back, Ocean Worldwide does stress that Phuket's overall property market has shown, pretty consistent appreciation over time.
That's good context if you're thinking long-term.
Mm-hmm.
What about making money from it? Rental yields in Patong.
Yeah, this is where Ocean Worldwide suggests Patong really shines. Because it's so popular with tourists and also expats, there's strong, consistent demand for rentals, especially condos.
So that translates into good potential returns.
That's the argument. They say the potential is there for attractive returns, but potential is the word, like you said.
It's not guaranteed.
Exactly. To really make it work, the article highlights needing good property management, keeping it looking great, and also being smart about pricing through the seasons. You can't charge peak rates all year round.
Makes sense. Different demand levels.
For sure. And Ocean Worldwide actually says Patong probably has the highest demand for condo rentals anywhere in Phuket.
Wow, that's a strong statement. Okay, looking forward. Any future developments they mentioned that could shake things up in Patong?
Yeah, they flag a few things. New road projects, for instance, that could make getting around easier, which might, push prices up.
Better accessibility, higher value.
Okay. Then there are plans for new hotels and resorts. That could mean more tourists, which, again, fuels rental demand.
More demand, potentially higher rents.
Possibly. And also new shopping centers or entertainment complexes being built. That adds to Patong's overall appeal, potentially boosting property values, too.
Sounds like a lot of potential positives. Any words of warning tied to that?
Yeah, there's a flip side. While a fancy new resort next door might lift the area's profile, it could also mean more competition for your specific condo rental. So you need to stay clued in on what's happening and think about how it might affect your investment, good and bad.
Right, got to weigh the opportunities against the increased competition. Okay, so Patong, dynamic, strong rental potential. Let's break down the specific plus points of buying there, according to Ocean Worldwide. The big one seems to be location, location, location. Proximity to the beach.
Yeah, that's a huge draw. They really stress that being able to just walk to the beach, to the sea, is massive. Not just for lifestyle if you live there, but massively boosts rental appeal.
Especially for tourists.
Absolutely. A sea view condo, always in demand. It's that classic holiday dream, isn't it?
It really is. Okay, benefit number 2 they highlight is Patong's famous or maybe infamous nightlife and entertainment.
Exactly. If you like being in the thick of it, Patong puts you right there. Bangla Road is obviously the big one, bars, clubs, restaurants.
The heart of the action.
Totally. But they also mention other stuff like live music spots, loads of different places to eat, even away from Bangla, shopping centers. You're not going to be bored.
Although they did mention the noise factor as a potential trade-off, right?
They did, yeah. It's often part of the deal with that kind of vibrant atmosphere. But for a lot of people, that energy is the appeal.
True. And the third big advantage ties back to what we were just saying. Strong rental demand.
Yep, the constant flow of tourists. Ocean Worldwide really hammers this home. Patong's popularity means demand for condo rentals is pretty steady year-round, not just in the absolute peak months.
And they gave some figures, too.
Yeah, they included a useful table showing potential average weekly rents for studios, 1 beds, 2 beds in both high and low seasons. In British pounds, actually. Really helps visualize the income potential.
Okay, paints a pretty positive picture. But every investment has risks. What challenges does Ocean Worldwide point out about Patong condos?
Well, the first one is the flip side of the vibrant atmosphere. The noise and the crowds.
Ah, yeah, the downside of being popular.
Exactly. Great for some, but if you or your tenants want peace and quiet, it can be a real issue, especially in high season. They suggest really thinking about the specific spot within Patong. Some streets are quieter than others.
That's a good point. Even within Patong, there's variation. They mentioned sky lounges being affected too.
Yes, specifically mentioned those. A great view isn't much fun if it's constantly loud.
True. Okay, challenge number 2, market saturation risk.
This is a big one for investors. Because Patong's so popular, there are a lot of condo buildings. That means competition for renters.
Makes finding tenants harder or pushes prices down.
Potentially both. Ocean Worldwide says you absolutely must research things like occupancy rates and typical rental yields for similar properties right in the area you're looking at.
And they listed things that affect occupancy.
They did. Like how many other condos are nearby? How close are you to the main attractions? How good is your property management? What's your pricing like? All that plays a role.
Right.
The underlying warning is about overbuilding. Too many condos could mean lower income and, longer gaps when your place is empty.
Definitely something to watch. And the third challenge was around regulations. That always sounds tricky for foreign buyers.
It can be, yeah. Thai property law has specific rules, especially for foreigners buying property. Ocean Worldwide strongly advises getting professional legal help to sort through the details of condo ownership, lease agreements, getting the right rental licenses.
Legal advice is key.
Absolutely. And they also specifically mention understanding how local bank mortgages work before you buy. Making sure you're fully compliant legally is just crucial.
Couldn't agree more. Now, Phuket isn't just Patong. How does Ocean Worldwide compare it to other spots on the island?
They give a nice little rundown. First up, Kamala. They describe it as much quieter, maybe better for families or people looking for peace. Still has restaurants and shops, but not that intense Patong nightlife.
Property prices there.
Can sometimes be a bit lower than Patong, they suggest. And it's closer to Bang Tao, specifically mentioning the prime beachside condos there, hinting at that more serene vibe.
Okay, Kamala for quiet. What about Karon?
Karon, they say, is kind of a middle ground. It balances Patong's buzz with Kamala's calm. Got a really long beach, good for families. Decent amenities, but the nightlife is more low-key than Patong.
And location-wise?
It's closer to the Kata beaches, which are also generally quieter. So, yeah, maybe a good family-friendly choice with a bit more going on than Kamala, but less hectic than Patong.
Okay. And the last one they mentioned was Rawai.
Yeah, Rawai sounds quite different. It's down on the southern tip. Less about big sandy beaches, more about, local life.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they mention a busy fishing community, great seafood restaurants, really nice views of the little islands nearby.
And prices.
Tend to be more affordable in Rawai. Plus, it's near Shillong, which apparently has good cafes and restaurants, too. Sounds like it has a more authentic local feel.
So it really boils down to what you're looking for, doesn't it? Personal taste, investment goals.
Exactly. Ocean Worldwide makes that clear. Patong might have the highest rental buzz, but maybe Kamala, Karan, or Rawai fits your lifestyle better, or your budget, or the kind of renter you want to attract. It depends.
Right. Okay, let's talk money. Financing a condo in Patong. What are the options Ocean Worldwide lays out?
They cover three main routes. First, getting a mortgage from a local Thai bank.
Is that easy for foreigners?
It's possible, they say, but maybe a bit more involved. The banks will look closely at your income, your credit history if you have one in Thailand, and they'll value the property carefully.
And interest rates.
Might be a bit higher for foreign borrowers compared to locals, is the suggestion.
And paperwork, I assume.
Oh, yeah. Proof of income, passport copies, the purchase agreement, the usual stuff, but maybe more scrutiny. Ocean Worldwide advises shopping around, maybe even using a mortgage broker who knows the local scene.
Good advice. Option 2.
That's about understanding the specific rules for foreign buyers. They mention the 49% foreign ownership quota for condos.
Right, the limit on foreign ownership in one building.
Exactly. No more than 49% of the units in a condo building can be owned freehold by foreigners. The rest has to be Thai-owned.
Okay.
And you also have to prove the money you're using came from outside Thailand. Usually means bank statements, transfer records, plus you need to keep an eye on currency exchange rates.
Lots of hoops to jump through there. What's the third financing path?
Payment plans directly from developers. Apparently quite a few developers in Patong offer these.
How do those work?
Usually you pay a deposit up front, then installments over time, often tied to construction progress. It can be good if you want to avoid a mortgage or just need time to get the full amount together.
But
Yeah.
I sense a but coming.
Yeah. Always read the small print. Ocean Worldwide stresses understanding all the terms and conditions. And again, research the developer's reputation thoroughly. What happens if you miss a payment? What if the project gets delayed? Due diligence on the developer is vital here.
Makes sense. Okay, digging deeper into the legal side, what key legal points does Ocean Worldwide flag for Patong buyers?
A big one is leasehold versus freehold. We touched on foreigners usually not owning land directly, right?
Yeah, restrictions there.
So leasehold is often the way foreigners own property. Ocean Worldwide says it's crucial to understand how long the lease is for, what happens when it runs out, and how that might affect the property's value if you want to sell it later.
But lease length is critical. Got it. What else legally?
They repeat the 49% condo quota rule. The land ownership limits typically that 30-year lease, may be renewable, and the need to properly transfer your money into Thailand and document it all.
Seems complex.
It can be, which is why their strongest advice here is get a good lawyer, someone who specializes in Thai property law. They can guide you through it all, protect your interests.
Cannot stress that enough, I imagine. And they also mentioned due diligence, again, in a legal context.
Yep. Basically, doing your homework before you sign anything. Check the title deed. Is it legit? Are there any liens or claims on it? Get a proper survey done to check boundaries and condition. And if you're buying off-plan, investigate that developer inside out.
So due diligence isn't just checking the building, it's checking the paperwork and the people involved too.
Exactly. They call it an investment in peace of mind.
Good way to put it. Okay, shifting gears slightly. Who is actually buying and renting these Patong condos? Understanding the target market seems pretty important for an investor.
Absolutely vital for shaping your strategy. Ocean Worldwide points to three main groups. First, tourists and short-term renters.
The holiday crowd.
Yep. People wanting a lively holiday, easy access to the beach, nightlife, all that. This market can bring steady income, they say, but it usually needs hands-on property management because people are coming and going all the time.
High turnover. Makes sense. Who's the second group?
Expats looking for longer-term rentals. Think retirees, maybe professionals working nearby. They often want convenience, comfort, security for a longer stay.
And they'd want Patong's buzz.
Some might, for the central location, but Ocean Worldwide also suggests expats wanting quieter might look at places like Bangtao instead. So attracting expats might mean offering a really well-furnished place, good amenities, longer lease options.
Okay. And the third demographic?
Local residents. People working in tourism, maybe local business owners, families needing a central spot with access to services.
What are their priorities usually?
Things like being close to work, maybe schools if they have kids. Affordability and convenience are often key for locals.
So knowing who you want to rent or sell to tourists, expats, locals really dictates everything, doesn't it? Location, features, how you manage it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You've got to match your investment to your target demographic to have the best chance of success.
Okay, so say you've bought a condo in Patong and want to rent it out. What are Ocean Worldwide's top tips for maximizing that rental income?
Number one is effective property management. They lay out the two paths, do it yourself which is a big time commitment, basically 24/7.
Yeah, handling bookings, cleaning, issues.
Exactly. Or hire a professional property management company. They handle marketing, tenants, maintenance, all that for a fee. If you go that route, definitely check their references and reviews first.
Find someone reliable. Good tip. What else?
Smart marketing for your rental. Use really good professional photos. Write detailed descriptions that sell the unique points.
Oh,
Access to rooftop pool, modern kitchen, whatever makes it stand out.
make it look appealing online.
Yeah, and list it everywhere. Airbnb, Booking.com, Agoda, local sites too. They even suggest little extras, like offering airport pickup or leaving a welcome basket. Nice touches to get better reviews and stand out. Maybe mention nearby attractions, like being near Rawai Beach, if applicable, though that's a bit far from Patong itself, perhaps more relevant for comparing areas.
Those little things can make a difference in reviews. Okay, final tip for income.
Be clever with seasonal pricing. Adjust your rates. Charge more in high season, say November to March. Maybe drop them a bit in the shoulder seasons, like April or November. And offer bigger discounts in the low season, May to October. Maybe even offer better deals for monthly stays then.
Ride the wave of demand.
Exactly. And keep an eye on local festivals or events. Maybe you can bump prices up a bit then. Just stay competitive with similar places nearby.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Okay, moving beyond the investment angle, what about just living in Patong, day-to-day life? What practical things does Ocean Worldwide mention?
They're realistic. While Patong is convenient and exciting, there are trade-offs for full-time residents. Like most international schools, they're outside Patong supermarkets.
Yeah.
You'll find some, but for a bigger selection, you might need to travel a bit.
Healthcare.
Available in Patong, yes, but they mention potential waiting times for specialists, that kind of thing.
So things families or long-term residents really need to think about. What about culture?
Well, Patong is mostly about modern fun, right? But they say there are temples nearby, local markets for a taste of Thai culture, and the street life itself is kind of a unique cultural mix, they suggest. Thai meets international.
So not a cultural desert, but not the main focus. Health and wellness facilities.
Yeah.
Gyms, spas.
Yep, plenty of those.
Yeah.
Gyms, spas, Muay Thai gyms, but often geared towards tourists, so maybe pricier. For really specialized stuff, you might look outside Patong. And the beach is great for exercise, of course, but can get crowded.
So living there is that constant balance, excitement and convenience, versus maybe needing more peace or specific services found elsewhere.
That sums it up well. It's about matching your lifestyle needs to what Patong offers, warts and all.
Okay, let's pull back for the big picture view. Long-term investment potential in Patong. What's Ocean Worldwide's take overall?
They see continued growth, fundamentally because Phuket itself is so popular globally, but maybe growth won't be as rapid as in the past. So careful selection of which property you buy is becoming more important.
Makes sense. Market maturing a bit.
Possibly. They also talk about tourism trends changing, more visitors from places like China, India. Investors might need to adapt, maybe offer things families like, or more cultural experiences. They even mention considering buying or renting in Phuket to maximize investment, which is an interesting point about flexibility.
Adapting to the market. And wider economic stuff must play a part too.
Oh, for sure. Interest rates, currency exchange rates, government rules, all that stuff influences prices. Ocean Worldwide says you need to keep track of the Thai economy generally.
So long-term potential is there, but it depends on many factors and needs careful strategy and keeping an eye on current property price trends.
Absolutely. Research and strategy are key for good long-term returns.
Right. And finally, for anyone listening who's thinking about this for the first-time buyers in Patong, what's the core advice from Ocean Worldwide?
Number one, research the market. Understand what's happening now. Look at recent sales, average prices, how long things take to sell. Use online portals, local news, everything you can find.
Do your homework. Got it. Next.
Choose the right property for your goal. Is it for rental? A holiday home to live in. That affects where in Patong you look, the size, the amenities. Pay attention to details too. Which floor is it on? What are the building fees? Inspect it thoroughly.
Practical stuff. Don't skip the details.
And
Number 3.
Work with good local agents. Their knowledge, their connections, their negotiation skills can be invaluable. But choose carefully, check their track record, reviews, make sure they understand what you need, maybe talk to a few different agents.
Find the right partner. Makes sense. And the final reminder.
It's basically, remember, this is complex, especially buying abroad. Get independent legal advice. Don't rush. Do the research. Do the due diligence. Set a budget. Look at locations, visit places, ask tons of questions, get help from a good agent, and they point people to their website, Ocean Worldwide site, for more tips and property listings.
Excellent summary. So let's circle back to the big question we started with. Is Patong a good area for condo investment in Phuket? What's the verdict based on Ocean Worldwide's perspective?
Well, drawing it all together from their insights, Patong clearly offers a really vibrant market, especially for rentals, thanks to all those tourists. That's its big strength. But, you have to weigh that against the challenges, the noise, the competition in the rental market.
It's not a simple yes or no.
Definitely not. And other places in Phuket Kamala, Kara and Rawai, offer different things, different lifestyles, different investment profiles, their own pros and cons. So whether Patong is good really depends entirely on your goals as an investor, how much risk you're comfortable with, and what kind of lifestyle you're after, if any.
Research is paramount.
Absolutely. Deep research, understanding Patong specifics, that's essential before you jump in.
Okay, so thinking ahead, with Phuket constantly changing, tourism evolving, what unforeseen factors might really impact Patong property values over, say, the next 10 years? That's something to chew on as you do your own thinking.